Hello Virgo, and welcome to my channel, The Guided Intuitive. I am here to do a 4-card spread for you covering the past, now, future, and your overall outcome. Now, just please note that this energies do transcend, so just know that they might run into each other. This might even move into next month, so that's something to keep in mind. I will be using the chakra cards, which are wisdom, spiritual cards about transformation of life. And though these are actually by Tori Hartman and these are by John Holland, spirit messages that we're going to pull at the very, very end. And they're quite beautiful. It's all about, again, transformation, right, guys? And they're embossed in gold on the side, so they're really beautiful. So just keep in mind, this is for Virgo sun, moon, and rising. If you're a Virgo sun and your moon and rising are different, then please be sure to check out those videos that I have out for that. I'm finishing them up today. And then you'll get started and be able to, focus on some guidance for your next 2 weeks. And of course, it might flow into even April as well. So please be sure to like and subscribe, guys, and note your comments if it does resonate, of course. And then please be sure to check out our Facebook page, The Guided Intuitive. And you can check out our Facebook group there as well if you'd like to be a part of a group of intuitives there. So we'd love to have you. That being said, if you do enter into our Facebook page, just note that if you don't have a profile, we're going to ask some questions before coming in because it is a closed group, so we just want to make sure that all our like-minded intuitives have different people in there that will actually share their info, with each other and help each other and coach each other, that type of thing. So I think it's a lot of fun. So I think you'll enjoy it. So let's go ahead and get started. Now, in your past position, Virgo, let's go ahead and take a look at that. Okay, in your past position, we have the card completion. So take a look at that. It is completion. Now, this particular card is talking about, there's this, it's like something's coming to an end. Now, the first thing you want to know, this has to do with your second chakra, and this is your sacral chakra. And this talks about emotional, enthusiastic, optimistic, affectionate, and just the biggest thing is about being emotional. It represents our emotions and how we relate to them. And then you learn the emotional discipline. And, if you choose, the thing is that you can master the skill of steering your emotions as you would like a ship in the high seas. And this is a very important part of manifesting. So that's something that we want you to know. It's really important to know where your emotions are coming from. And so sometimes that if it's the second chakra, sometimes we have to drop down to the root chakra, to that foundation, and question ourselves, where are these emotions coming from for me? And what is that source of my emotional experience, and that type of stuff. So in any event, this card is called completion. So this is in your past position, and this could be a something personal in your life. This could be a relationship. This could be whatever your inquiry is. And you might even be experiencing this now, but it is talking about a completion. So something has actually ended. But the beautiful thing about this is there's a warm and cheerful energy. The sun in the background is going down, so it's kind of like this last sunset. And it brings calm and an ending, making it just poignant. Not so much sad, and I know that you get that at first as you get into the card, but let me hold on a bit because I'll get a little bit deeper into that. There's no drama here. This talks about only resolution, that something is taking place outside of your comfort zone at this time. And Aries, you know what that is for you. What is it that is causing you discomfort? Because this card is reminding you to step into the emotional grace of completion. So something is completing. And like I said, it could be a relationship, a job, or something of the sort. So that's what this card talks about. And the thing is the card is asking you, am I present in the moment? And how do I respond to the idea of completion? So this card doesn't want you to fear completion. This card is saying to embrace completion. And it is a reminder just to cherish all the wonderful beauty areas that is in your life. And this includes endings. So reflect on, your part of, in history, and discover what it is that you value most. If it's in a relationship, what you valued most in that particular person that you spent a lot of time with, that might be coming to an end. If it's a job, just reflect on what you enjoyed most in working with that person. So I think that is really, really cool. It's just an ending, and that's what it is. Now, the card has a little story behind it, and it talks about a gentleman that was raised in an orphanage and enlisted into the army late, like in 1942. And at the end of the war, he was a decorated veteran at the time, and he had survived many wars, and a lot of his brothers had not. But later on, he decided to become an actor, and he was well loved. But history will remember him as a war hero. And when he's finally laid to rest, as in this card, it's all this goodness that is smiled upon him as she received him into the heavens. So this is about that a life comes to a spectacular close, like that final sunset, that type of thing. So you're going to know more how this resonates with you. And so you're going to have to let me know. Now let's move into the now and see how this kind of builds upon each other here. Okay, so the next card that we have here, Virgo, is called Trickery. Trickery. Now this is a green card. Not only the green dragon, but it's a green card. And the green card is really actually is about the heart chakra. This is about love, hope, growth, healing, peace, and prosperity, and even harmony. Now, it might not look like it at this point, but that's what the colors of this card means. And the heart chakra just is truly relating to matters of the heart. This is, it's getting to the heart of the matter, which might then include how this card plays into that role. So this is about trickery, and what it talks about is that notice here that there may be some sort of manipulation, and mainly because of fear or being rejected. Okay. There's no evil intent. There's only just a deep desire to be loved. So this card is reminding of you that there could be an indication that you should practice asking for your true heart's desire rather than fearing someone else's resentment. Wow, that's really interesting. That's really, really interesting. That's interesting. And there's the little legend on this card. You see the dragon and the squirrel, and this green acorn is asked to star in this fable by the green dragon. And he was he was definitely how do I want to say this? The dragon has this big acorn, is the squirrel sees that, and the squirrel is getting ready for, the winter months, and sees that the dragon has something he does not, so he better go ahead and start developing and find his acorns and put them into a basket. Well, the squirrel does this, but he puts it full of rocks and then puts a few acorns on the top so to hide what's beneath there. And when the dragon sees its weight, he actually tries to steal the basket, takes the basket, and when he steals the basket, the squirrel takes the acorn. And the interesting thing about this is that that neither of them win, because the dragon gets the basket full of rocks, and the squirrel, I forgot to say, this was a contest, and who could get the biggest acorn. And so as the squirrel tries to choose this, he loses too, because he's disqualified from the contest. So there you have the context of it. So the bottom line is they both don't end up winning, right? It's just a form of manipulation. So this card is just asking you, hey, this is something that you might need to consider. Is this something that's happening within inside you? And are you performing? Are you afraid to tell the truth on something? And how does that make you manipulate others in the process? And Virgo, that's what this is saying. What do I really need to say is what this card is saying. You know, that is it. Are there hidden motives? Are you accusing others? Is it, you know, is it true self-honesty? Because this is saying to focus on what's true to your heart, because this is talking about the heart chakra. So guys, you know, let me know how this resonates with you in some way, shape, or form. The bottom line is that the tempter is as guilty as the thief, right? So, you know, that is so interesting. Ask yourself when you look into the mirror, am I afraid to tell the truth? And then how fear how does that fear in particular make me manipulate others in some way, shape, or form? So that's what it's asking. So let's move into your future and say what that looks like. Gosh, I'm getting some of these same cards that I got into another reading. Whew, gosh. Okay, so this card, hold on tight though. This card is bittersweet. Okay? Bittersweet. And the definition of this, you know, as you know, something is bittersweet. It's not just referring to taste in itself, as you well know, Virgo, but it just describes like this blend of emotions that are sweet, but they're also tinged with sadness. It's like the feelings and memories that make you simultaneously be happy, but then sad. So therefore, they're bittersweet. And that may relate to you in some way, shape, or form. This is in your future position. So you're going to have to let me know on how that resonates for you. It's a lot of times you talk about that in relationships where you really love someone, but they're just not right for you. So there's a little bittersweet feel to it, right? So I think that's pretty interesting. Now, the interesting facet of this is that the blue indicates the throat chakra. That's the 5th chakra, and it's all about communication, on how you are heard and how you speak in this world. So that's what this is all about. It is about the throat chakra in terms of communication, but it could be in writing, it could be in, you know, in speaking, it could be in artistry, whatever that is, but it does have to deal with communication that's bittersweet. So, and it's just something to kind of think about, you know, where do you feel that within, you know, your relationships? It's almost as if a window is opened as a door gently closes in the back. Okay, so it's the passing of things that sometimes can be inevitable. So that's a little bit what this is saying, is that it's about release and it's about maturity. And whatever's happening right now may require some sort of release. And I'm saying this because you come to a completion, and then you feel that you may have perhaps manipulated something in some way, shape, or form, or something is manipulated. This could be you or someone else. And then you realize that maybe through this process, things are illuminated from the heart, and then it comes out and you understand that it is bittersweet. Though I needed to leave, and I know I needed to for my benefit, you know, at the same time, it might be a little sad. And though I love what I'm moving on toward, forward on, you know, to or on, but I might be a little, you know, disheartened about that, a little sad about that at the same time. So let me guys know how this resonates with you. I thought this is kind of interesting. So let's move into your final outcome. And this is despondence. Okay, Virgo, take a look at this. This is despondence. Now, the purple card has to deal with your sixth sense. So it's, you know, kind of with the how do I want to say it? The sixth sense, right? So it's about intuition. You know, it's about spirituality. It's about all of that. But it's also, you know, about taking action. You find the road out. So whatever it is that you have to do, you find this road, this way out. So the biggest question is asking yourself, in which part of my life am I feeling immobilized in some way, shape, or form? So because the only way out of a situation is through it, right, Virgo? I mean, the only way out, you can sit and wait and sit and wait and sit and wait and sit and wait, but the only way that you're going to get through something and get out of that immobilized feeling is to move forward. So the ideas here are just about, you know, acceptance of certain circumstances, you know, feeling helpless, you know, but taking action and just, you know, knowing that change is on the horizon. Change is on the horizon. It's kind of like you see this woman and her hands are up in the air, saying, oh my gosh, you know what? Nothing's working. It's just unable to take care of the things in her world. And, but yet, you know, if there's a hurricane next door and she's saving children next door and she's got to go ahead and help them, and she's not even thinking about how she's taking care of herself and all the problems in her life. She finds a way out of her kind of depression and confusion by just taking action. So that's kind of the interesting thing about this. So sometimes you feel helpless, but then something happens and then change happens by taking action. And that a revelation comes out of that. And it's about movement, and it's also about encouragement. So I really like this, guys. So it's kind of like you've got this completion of something that's coming to an end. And it's just an end, you know, and it's a celebratory, it's a poignant end, and it's a moving on. And then you go ahead into, it could be the same situation or something else where you feel maybe at work or within a relationship that there was maybe some sort of manipulation that you're working on each other. And that's an uncomfortable thing anyway, you know, whether it's you or someone else. It's an uncomfortable thing, to be involved in. And sometimes you just have to leave that. And when you do leave, it can be bittersweet, right? It can be. And, yet it's something that you love, but you know you can't stay because it does not feel right to you. And then you feel like maybe that your life's moving on to the next step of the journey a little bit out of control. And but it's when you help someone and step out of that your life now gets back into control, and you realize through encouragement and through action that you've pushed your way through and out of that whatever situation that it is that involved into. So quite interesting, guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at what particular signs or signals that we can get as it relates to your final outcome here. I think this will be pretty neat. So let's see what we have. Well, let's take that one here. The first one, nature. Okay, so it's time to absorb the nature, all that nature has to offer, to really soak in, just healing energy for your mind, body, and soul. So that's what this card wants you to do. It's take this time to connect and spend quality time outdoors, so you can kind of continue a little bit of some of the changes that you're going through, because that's certainly going to move you forward with quite a bit of energy and strength and revitalization. So let's take a look at what your next card is here. Oh, and this is gratitude. And this talks about, you know, just being thankful for receiving the energy that you're getting. So maybe with that action that you continually to feed that, and maybe you're going outdoors to get more, you know, hiking, doing whatever that you need to do of any sort, or just becoming a little bit more active. And that is actually, you know, you're receiving that energy and you're being very thankful for who and what is in your life. And if you focus on gratitude, you're going to start, you know, attracting that prosperity and all of that abundance that's involved in that too. So I think that's pretty neat. And then your final is vulnerability. This is confirmation that you're seeking to tread into the unknown and unfamiliar territory. And this is talking about that decisions are based more on your intuition. So not to let fear hold you back, and you know, and or perhaps don't let the fear, you know, don't allow a misguided sense that feeling vulnerable is somewhat a negative condition, because it's not. Definitely it's not. It's not at all. I'm just gonna pull one more and see what this is, and this is support. Wow, people come to your life for many different reasons, and some you learn from, and some, you know, they move on. But this is basically saying that while others return to you, it's often because you need to learn more from those individuals. And then others remain beside you throughout your entire life. So you've got support. Through this process, you have got support. So know, and this is that grounding energy too, which I really like. So, you know, just keep that in mind, guys, as you move forward here. You've got the support. Energize with nature. Continue to do action to push you out of, you know, the energy into this fresh new energy, and you'll be on your way. Okay, Virgo, thank you so much for being here. I hope this resonated with you in some way, shape, or form. And I look forward to seeing you in April. And until then, namaste.